Hi, my name is Junior Sheikh, and thank you all for joining me for another Zoom to Zoom. Today I have Kam Bhakerd with me. Hi, Kam.
Good afternoon, Junior. How are you?
Thanks so much for taking time off this very chilly Sunday afternoon to speak to me.
My pleasure.
Kam, I want to get straight into it. We've all been put into yet another national lockdown. I just wanted to ask you, what lessons did you learn from the previous lockdowns that will help us get through this one?
Well, I guess we've encountered this particular virus very quickly, and it's had an impact through our communities extremely quickly. I mean, when we talk about the first lockdown that had occurred, essentially the lockdown was accepted by the majority of the public because of the level of threat that was perceived within the media. Secondly, I guess the support outlined initially by the government and local authorities that were partnered with the government agencies and national government provided some light at the end of the tunnel in terms of the actions that were being taken. And also, there was a level of focus on those that were potentially left out the original support that was required in the original lockdown. And I guess the majority of communities also recognize the importance of the lockdown, including the raised awareness for those people of ethnic origins, which also came to the forefront. I think by the time we got to the second lockdown, communities became more aware. They realized that the first lockdown hadn't really worked. There wasn't enough that was done. And maybe, and perhaps, communities in their local areas just hadn't complied well enough. I guess the possibility of further spread through schools also became a great concern. And also the knock-on effect into the winter period was a real threat. I think further, the expected vaccine was still not certain in terms of it being ready in time prior to the winter period. And again, that had an impact and also a threat towards many elderly generations. And I guess it became very difficult for everyone to comprehend a possible exit strategy with regard to this particular threat. Now we're in the third lockdown. The arrival of the new strains now presents a further threat. It's now more important than ever to be vigilant and also non-complacent. I think people are restless, mentally strained, many are financially impacted, and again, they're longing for a normality and freedom. Many do console in religion and also prayer, whilst others keep busy with community colleagues and also friends through the electronic media. That's more and more apparent within many homes. Unfortunately, there are many homes that don't have that facility and that ability to be able to stay in touch, especially those individuals that perhaps live alone. I guess this is an experience of an international devastation as far as the whole world is concerned. And it's also on par with, I would guess, the First World Wars, although I was never about for those world wars. And also certainly a lot of natural disasters that have occurred that many have experienced, and also that many have also come through. And eventually, I guess, we'll also come through those as well.
You touched there on people taking comfort in their faith. And I just wanted to ask you about the Sikh community. From my experience and from what I see, the Sikh community always come to people's aid. I'm thinking of very recently, just at the end of 2019, when there was an issue at the port with Dover with Brexit and the lorry drivers being stuck on the motorway, and you saw all the videos and pictures of the local Sikh community there going out to help. Why is it, as a religion, as a community, that you guys always come out to help?
Well, Junior, the Sikh community generally follows three principles in life that are taught by our 10 gurus in succession throughout the ages. The primary principle is faith and meditation in the name of the one creator. And secondly, the divine unity and equality of all humankind. And I guess the last one that is more apparent and also related with regards to your particular question is the engaging in selfless service. It is the engaging in selfless service that compels the Sikh community to support those that are less fortunate. Selfless service is the act of supporting without expecting something back. And this is essentially is known as seva within the Sikh religion and also culture. Seva is a selfless service that starts with those that are unfortunate. And seva also extends through the support within communities, temples, and even at home.
That's very, very interesting. I'd always had a little bit of a mix-up between two words, and I'm hoping you can help educate me here, although I should know a little bit better. You've told me what seva is. What is the langar?
Well, langar is essentially the provision of a community kitchen. And this was introduced by our first Guru Nanak, who was the founder of Sikhism in the 15th century. Langar is preached equality in humanity, and it's open to everyone irrespective of background and status. In all Sikh temples, everyone sits together on the floor at one level, which promotes the equality of all persons.
And what work have the gurdwaras been doing through the pandemic?
Well, as you can imagine, Junior, the work has been limited somewhat through this particular incidental period, i.e. the pandemic. Although there have been some activities that have taken place, for example, the provision of langar to hospitals and NHS staff, there was a period of time through the first lockdown that we were able to continue that on a skeletal basis, and during the periods between the lockdowns as well. The provision of langar to the homeless and disadvantaged also happened as well, and the temples were providing food to whoever needed it. And in addition to that, the continuous circulation of the guidance through the community was very important, and lots of Gurdwara took it upon themselves to ensure that all of the communities were being given ample information and fully understood of the requirements of the government.
That sounds fantastic. Again, you know, like I was saying, the Sikh community always out there to help people. Kam, I wanted to talk a bit about your late father, the wonderful Mukhtar Singh. As you know, and we're very proud at MTM Awards that our Community Champion Award is named after him, and thank you to your family for allowing that. Your father was a true community champion, and he understood the importance of community cohesion. What lessons did he teach you, and what lessons did he pass on to you?
Well, I guess I think a lot of the things that I took away from Dad were the fact that, you know, primarily I looked at his behavior in terms of how he handled certain scenarios and situations. For example, he was very humble and also extremely approachable, and always took time to listen and explain to people as well. First of all, my father was a baptized Sikh and therefore followed the teachings of the Gurus extremely closely. He supported and encouraged awareness within communities on many, many levels. He also worked with various groups to promote community cohesion, tolerance, and also understanding. And Junior, he did this in many, many ways. For example, he did this through the Sikh temples, with different community religious leaders, through the Bristol Interfaith Group, and also worked with various authorities as well, such as the police and also the prison service, where he was a chaplain. He also promoted education and awareness through local authorities, including schools education and community awareness through festivals and seminars. There were very many community stakeholder groups that he was also involved in. I guess some of the lessons that I took from Dad, as he was always known, he was very, very down to earth. I took a lot about tolerance and understanding from him. And I guess it's important to develop communities and also multicultural societies based upon those principles and beliefs. It's also proven in so many ways that communities are definitely stronger together, Junior. Always help where needed, I guess, was another thing that I took away from Dad. If there was someone who wanted some support, never turn your back on them and always offer your support if you're able to do so. And I've always practiced that where I can. And I guess the wider picture is likely to be the one that's most important, although, you know, at first it may not be that way.
Personally, I will always have very, very fond memories of your father. He was always so welcoming to us as an organization and as individuals as well. One of the lessons that I will take from him, together we're always stronger. We're coming to the end now, Kam. Thank you so much again for taking this time with me. I wanted to ask you, what's your positive message for everyone out there for 2021?
Yes, I guess there are a number of things I could say, Junior. Primarily, I think for everyone within the local community and also nationally and internationally is to stay vigilant. In addition to that, yes, I think it's most important to follow the advice that's given by our governments and also our local authorities. I guess for a lot of younger generations, I could turn around and say, look, don't be a hero. You may be fit enough, but you've got to think about everyone else potentially that could be affected by the virus that you carry that you may not suffer symptoms from. The virus is still evolving and we are still playing catch up with it. In addition to that, we've got to look out for each other. We will get there and get through it in the end. And 2021 could be the year that we defeated COVID-19.
Thank you so much again for the time. I hope to catch up with you again very, very soon. You take care, stay safe, and stay vigilant.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye, Junior.